The 6 craziest postseason games ever, or the 6 craziest moments from a postseason game ever in Major League history. I'll go first. I'm going to go, you're going to think this is kind of odd.
No.
I'm going Ozzie Smith, the home run off Tom Niedenfuhr in the NLCS, which allowed the Cardinals to go to the World Series in '85, because this is why it's crazy. In more than 3,000 at-bats in his Major League career, Ozzie Smith had never hit a home run left-handed. He did in that game.
That's great.
Yeah. Number 5, the Jeter flip, simply because there's no reason for Jeter to be on that side of the field. An amazing play, crazy play. Number 4, I'm going to go the shot heard around the world, Bobby Thompson, 1951, mainly because it was crazy because of the scene on the field after the Giants won. Eddie Stanky, Leo DeRocher wrestling each other to the ground, enjoy, people rolling out onto the field. Did I give you 7? Is that why I've got a 4 and a 4B? Okay. Another 4, the Don Denkinger call in the 1985 World Series. Number 3, Babe Ruth's called shot against the Cubs at Wrigley. You know, when movies are made and documentaries are made and books are written about these things, you know they're special. That happened in the called shot game. It certainly had. I saw a great documentary on the Bartman game, the Cubs 2003, which somebody here also called the Moises Alou game. And number 1 is the Bill Buckner game. I mean, it lives in infamy. It took forever for people to forgive Bill Buckner, and there are still some people in New England who haven't done that.
We have a lot of similarities, and so I'll just kind of go off. Babe Ruth, 1932, is called shot at Wrigley Field, but the problem with that was nobody ever asked him after the game whether he was picking his nose or he was pointing to a fan, and Babe later on, like, in the summer, oh yeah, I called the shot.
Yeah, well, that was Babe.
Like, yeah, that's like, you know.
Babe was a lot of hyperbole.
Oh yeah, I picked the Broncos to go to the Super Bowl that year. So it's got, the fiction is bigger than the fact of what happened.
It's been romanticized.
I'm going to throw one that's here. Matt Holliday, missed home plate.
Oh, that's a good one. I like that.
That kind of changed the whole franchise because they felt like, oh, we're now going to be a factor all the time, and they were for 2.5 seasons.
There are some people who tell you he still hasn't touched home plate.
That's right. There was a story last night about how a player, gosh, in a postseason game, came back that night with a police escort and touched home plate because he never touched home plate. Did you ever hear that story?
No.
And that's what Matt Holliday should do when he comes to town, touch home
funny.
plate, because you never did. You never did. But that changed the course of history for the Rockies. They went to their only World Series. Kirk Gibson, 1998. You got it. I don't know how you left that off your list.
I can't believe what I just saw.
But, I mean, he couldn't walk.
Yeah.
And he came in and hit a home run. Bill Buckner, 1986. Nobody will ever forgive him in Boston. He lives like in witness protection.
A few started to forgive him after they won the first World Series in '04.
Yeah, but the Boston people.
Yeah.
Bartman, because I bring it up because that was the guy, Moses Alou, was over there, and Bartman reached over and caught the ball instead of him. It's 18 years ago today. Did you know that?
Time flies, huh?
Number 1, Bobby Thompson's 1951 home run, which you mentioned. And the reason why I bring that up while we're going in a different direction, there's a great book called The Echoing Green. The Dodgers, the Giants knew every pitch that was being thrown after the All-Star game by other teams at home.
There's somebody in center field.
There's a great story if you want to know anything more about that. That is a great story about how we talk about Deflategate. The Dodgers the Giants cheated for half a year, and nobody ever knew it, and it was kept a secret for years and years.
Leo
and years.
DeRocher, shocking, huh?
Yeah, he had a telescope that a backup catcher gave him, and they set up a signal system. And the guy who did it, the electrician who set it up, was a Dodgers fan, and he died of cancer that year, and that took him to the grave because he knew he was a reason why they were able to do that. And 1B, I had one last night. You got to put that in. Last night,
it was unbelievable.
Last night will forever live in infamy in baseball.
Yeah. One last question for you. If you're the Cubs, to exorcise demons, would you invite Bartman to one of the NLCS games?
No, there's a guy that got more attention than he ever deserved. I don't bring the GOAT. I don't bring Bartman. I don't bring it. I might cut the ivy off the walls. Don't deal with any
Well,
of
not
that.
only that, he wouldn't go. He's done a good job of staying underground. He wants nothing to do with it anymore.
Yeah, he could have probably made a lot more money in his life off that if he had gone with it.
He didn't want the
been on TV
notoriety.
shows and
Didn't
stuff
want
like
it.
that.